The Swallow and the Crow. A swallow was once boasting to a crow about their birth. I was once a princess, said she, the daughter of a king of Athens, but my husband used me so cruelly and cut out my tongue for a slight fault. Then, to protect me from further injury, I was turned by Juno into a bird. You chatter quite enough as it is, said the crow. What you would have been like had you not lost your tongue, I can't think. The Hunter and the Horseman. A hunter went after game and succeeded in catching a hare, which he was carrying home with him when he met a man on horseback, who said to him, You have had some sport, I see, sir, and offered to buy it. The hunter readily agreed, but the horseman had no sooner got the hare in his hands than he set his spurs into his horse and went off at full gallop. The hunter ran after him for some little distance, but it soon dawned upon him that he had been tricked, and he gave up trying to overtake the horseman, and to save his face, called after him as loud as he could, All right, sir, all right, take your hare. It was meant all along as a present. The Goathead and the Wild Goats. A Goathead was tending to his goats at pasture when he saw a number of wild goats approach and mingle with his flock. At the end of the day he drove them home and put them all into the pen together. Next day the weather was so bad that he could not take them out as usual, so he kept them all at home in the pen and fed them there. He only gave his own goats enough food to keep them from starving, but he gave the wild goats as much as they could eat and more, for he was very anxious of them to stay, and he thought that if he fed them well, they wouldn't want to leave him. When the weather improved, he took them all out to the pasture again, but no sooner had they got near the hills than the wild goats broke away from the flock and scampered off. The goatherd was very much disgusted at this, and roundly abused them for their ingratitude. Rascals, he cried, to run away like that after I've treated you. Hearing this, one of them turned around and said, Ah, yes, you treated us all right, too well, in fact. It was just that put us on our guard. If you treat newcomers like ourselves so much better than your own flock, it is more likely that, if another lot of strange goats joined yours, we should then be neglected in favour of the last comers. The Nightingale and the Swallow. A swallow, conversing with a nightingale, advised her to quit the leafy coverts where she made her home, and to come and live with men like herself, and nest under the shelter of their roofs. But the nightingale replied, Time was when I too, like yourself, lived among men, but the memory of the cruel wrongs I then suffered makes them hateful to me, and never again will I approach their dwellings. The scene of the past sufferings revives plain memories. The Traveller and Fortune. A traveller, exhausted with fatigue after a long journey, sank down the very brink of a deep well and presently fell asleep. He was within an ace of falling in when Dame Fortune appeared to him and touched him on the shoulder, cautioning him to move further away. Wake up, good sir, I pray you, she said. Had you fallen into the well, the blame would have been thrown not on your own folly, but on me, Fortune.